we'll move on now. We're kind of going to look at the design section just now. So that you'd kind of looked at a little bit there of an analysis. We look at the kind of design, and at the start we're kind of going to get into databases now. I mean, I've got some of my, I'd say most of my pupils choose databases as their main focus for their project. I mean, do you see that often as marketers?
Well, not really. We usually see software or web-based projects are the main focus, David.
All right, okay. I mean, why is that? Why is that? I think databases is amazing. So why is that?
Well, it's hard to say. Maybe because pupils and teachers are just more familiar with software since it's the sort of larger part of the course. I'm not sure about web because I definitely do database more with my pupils rather than web. I guess it just comes down to individual teachers and maybe their sort of degree of focus. Maybe software and web seems safer than a big database project. But database projects can be just as valuable if done properly. And indeed, some of the resources and things you were shown us recently on your database is just brilliant.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, what are some of the kind of common design mistakes then that pupils who are kind of using databases as their main focus, what kind of design things go wrong?
Well, there's definitely quite a few things that stand out straight away. One of the biggest things is that candidates often fail to include a query design for every query that they use. It seems like it's so basic a thing that we shouldn't even mention it, but believe it or not, we see it so frequently. We also sometimes see query designs that weren't actually included in the implementation or weren't required.
Right, okay.
So they've possibly over planned as to what they'd be able to achieve, and maybe when it came to implementation they didn't have enough time, and then they haven't gone back and removed those queries that they didn't need to use.
Okay.
So it's a reminder to them, as with anything, if they manage to implement what they need to, and there's been some excess in there that they didn't actually get round to or decided not to put in, they should go back and take it out of their design and not leave it there. Because, and obviously go right back to the golden thread, go right back to the beginning and look at their description and so on, and make sure it's consistent right the way throughout. So
that kind of ties in with the golden threads thing again. Okay. I mean, I can remember, I think it was last year, STACS issued some pretty handy templates about kind of the query designs, and kind of so that the pupils could use these sheets. I think that's them on the slide there. Absolutely,
we've got the link there on the slides. For anybody that doesn't have them yet, then it's great. Go ahead, download them now.
Can I ask? I know they were issued for hire, and I use them in my higher class. But I mean, do they work okay for advanced higher concepts too?
Absolutely. Pupils just need to be thorough and make sure that every single query in their project is properly designed. But absolutely, these templates are great, I think.
Okay, amazing. That's brilliant. I'll make sure that they've got access to them. Okay, I mean, is there anything else we need to look out for when kind of doing design and databases as a main focus?
Yes, there is. Surprisingly, pupils often forget to include their pseudocode for their database connection. And in fact, I come back to this when I get to talking about SDD and talking about connections. Whether it's from their PHP files or from their chosen programming platform, they just often forget to put it in.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, so every time that they connect, do they need to do a design for every time they connect?
Well, it depends. It depends on how they've done it. If they've included the connection in a separate connection PHP file, and they've used include to bring it onto each page, then they only need to do their design once. Okay, so that is probably the most efficient in terms of the write-up, isn't it? Because they're only designing that once and using it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but if the pupil hasn't done it that way, they haven't used include, if they've retyped their connection code on each of their pages, then their design should reflect that.
Okay.
Okay, so for every page that has a query, there should be at least a line of pseudocode to represent a database connection to be opened and a database connection closed. For anybody that wants to have a wee look at this, then have a look at the 2023 Understanding Standards event materials, because there were some good examples made available at those meetings.
Amazing, thanks Fiona. That was really good so far. No, thank you. So we've looked at the pseudocode of kind of databases and the connection. We've looked at the query designs. How about data dictionaries? I mean, they seem easy enough.
Absolutely, data dictionaries are definitely okay. I'm moving on here. So for anybody that's not following me, you can come back and just follow me as presenter at the moment. Absolutely, database dictionaries, they are done. They're done, quite well. But there are definitely a few marks here and there that are getting thrown away. And to me, I'm always like to the pupils, this is a fairly straightforward thing. We want to get all the easier stuff, if you like, with comments behind it. We don't want to throw away any of those marks so that you can afford to lose a few marks on the really difficult stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So on this board here, we've got the data dictionary, and it's first of all, there's a wee reminder there about the attribute data types. We need to see that they're using the correct advanced higher database attribute types in their data dictionaries. And it's a little thing, but I suppose it's easy for them to miss.
That's fine. Well,
yeah, so if they move on from text to varchar, for instance, number becomes either integers or floats, depending on what they're using. The same with booleans, becomes booleans and integers. And dates, we now have dates, times, and date time. So just a wee one for them to watch out for when they're doing their data dictionary.
Okay, well, I've got a question. So, I've got a pupil who is actually doing a database, but they're doing it in Access. So, shouldn't they be using Access field types when they're doing their data dictionary?
Well, no, we need to see the correct advanced higher attribute types being used, as opposed to any sort of application package specific ones. Okay,
got it. Okay, so text becomes char, and I'm all fine with that. No, thanks very much. Great.
Okay. Oh, and the other one, another basic one there, we've got a wee key symbol just to remind us that sometimes they forget their primary and foreign keys, despite the fact they've been doing that since N5. So just for them to cast a very careful eye around their data dictionary.
Okay, brilliant, thanks.
Okay, so hopefully everybody found that helpful.